Stop being too friendly. Being too nice is a weakness, not a strength. You think being overly friendly makes people like you? No, it makes you forgettable, easy to manipulate, and exhausted. Stop it. Boundaries are a full sentence. You don't owe explanations, justifications, or apologies for saying no. No is a complete damn sentence. Fake niceness is not kindness, smiling through discomfort, overcommitting, or letting people walk all over you. That's not kindness, that's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being disliked. You teach people how to treat you. If you let people take advantage of your time, your energy, or your kindness, they will. Raise your standards. Not everyone deserves your energy. You are not required to be the emotional support system for energy vampires, takers, or toxic people. Protect your space. Friendly, likable, real confidence is direct, clear, and unapologetic. It's not about being nice. It's about respecting yourself enough to stop people pleasing. If you're always available, you're never valued. The more you say yes to everything and everyone, the less people respect your time. Make them earn your yes. Get comfortable with discomfort, someone being upset because you set a boundary. That's their problem, not yours. Let them deal with it. Watered down people get overlooked. The more you suppress your true self to be agreeable, the less impactful you become. Stand firm. Own your presence. Stop apologizing for existing. You don't need to soften your words, shrink your presence, or overcompensate to make others comfortable. You deserve to take up space, period. Now go out there and own your energy. Stop being too friendly. Start being real. Being too nice isn't winning you any favors, it's making you invisible. You think people appreciate it. No, they take it for granted. You bend over backward, say yes when you want to say no, and bite your tongue just to keep the peace. And what do you get in return? Exhaustion. Resentment. A silent scream in your head asking, why does no one respect me? Because you're making it too easy for them not to. People don't respect doormats. They wipe their feet on them. You want to be remembered. You want to be taken seriously. Then stop softening yourself to fit into spaces where you should be standing your ground. The world doesn't reward people who are nice. It rewards people who are clear, direct, and intentional about how they let others treat them. Being friendly is great. Being overly nice, that's just self-sabotage. The more you try to please everyone, the more you lose yourself. You start saying yes out of obligation instead of desire. You take on extra work because you don't want to disappoint anyone. You pretend things don't bother you when they do. And little by little, you disappear. Stop thinking that being nice is the same as being kind. It's not. Kindness is rooted in strength. It's being honest, setting boundaries, and showing up authentically. Niceness, that's just fear wrapped in a smile. Fear of confrontation, fear of rejection, fear of being disliked. And that fear is keeping you stuck in a cycle where people don't take you seriously. Here's the truth. You will never be liked by everyone. Read that again. No matter how nice, polite, or accommodating you are, someone will still have a problem with you. So why waste energy trying to be palatable to people who don't even value you? Instead, put that energy into respecting yourself enough to stop people pleasing. The moment you stop over-explaining, over-apologizing, and over-giving, something incredible happens. People start seeing you differently. You stop being the person they can take advantage of. You stop being the easy yes. You become someone whose time, energy, and presence have weight, and that's the person who gets respect. Being nice won't protect you from being taken for granted. It won't make people treat you better. What will? Clarity, boundaries, self-respect. When you shift from being overly nice to being firm but fair, people adjust. The ones who only liked you because they could walk all over you, they'll leave. And that's a good thing. If you're exhausted from being nice all the time, that's your body telling you something. It's saying enough, no more. It's telling you to stop pouring into everyone else's cup while yours runs empty. Listen to that feeling. It's not selfish, it's survival. This isn't about being rude or cold. It's about standing in your own damn power. It's about realizing that your worth isn't tied to how much you do for others. It's about reclaiming the energy you've been giving away to people who don't deserve it. So stop over-explaining, stop justifying, stop making excuses for other people's behavior. You are not here to be nice. You are here to be real, respected, and unapologetically yourself. You don't need a long-winded explanation. You don't need to soften the blow. You don't need to wrap your no in a pretty little excuse just to make someone else comfortable. No is a full sentence, period. The reason people keep pushing your limits is because they know you'll bend. You'll say, no, you'll say, I really shouldn't, but okay. They know if they push hard enough, you'll cave. And guess what? That's not their fault. It's yours. You've trained them to expect a yes. Time to untrain them. Stop apologizing for setting boundaries. You are not responsible for how someone reacts to your no. If they get upset, that's their problem. If they take it personally, that's on them. Their disappointment does not mean you did something wrong. It just means they're used to getting their way. Your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your mental peace is valuable. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to yourself. No to your priorities. No to your rest. No to the things that actually matter to you. And for what? To avoid feeling guilty for 2 seconds. That's not worth it. You don't have to be mean to be firm. You don't have to be rude to stand your ground. You just have to be clear. No, I can't. That's it. No, maybe later. No, I wish I could. No fake excuses. Just no. And then stop talking. Let the silence do the work. The people who respect you won't be offended by your boundaries. The ones who are offended, they were never respecting you in the first place. They were using you. And now that you're making it harder for them, they don't like it. Too bad. When you set a boundary, expect pushback. Some people will guilt trip you. Some will act like you're being difficult. Some will try to make you feel selfish. That's because your boundaries are inconvenient for them. But guess what? Their convenience is not your responsibility. You teach people how to treat you. If you keep saying yes when you want to say no, they'll keep asking. If you keep over-explaining, they'll keep looking for loopholes. If you keep apologizing, they'll think they have the right to be upset. Break that cycle. Your no doesn't need a reason. Your no doesn't need validation. Your no doesn't need permission. Say it, mean it, stand by it. And if they don't like it, not your problem. So next time someone asks for more than you're willing to give, don't explain, don't justify. Don't hesitate, just say no and watch how quickly your life changes. If you have to swallow your feelings just to keep the peace, that's not kindness, it's self-betrayal. If you say yes when you really mean no, that's not kindness, it's avoidance. If you let people take more than they give, that's not kindness, that's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being seen as difficult. But here's the truth, real kindness requires strength, not self-sacrifice. People-pleasing isn't generosity, it's manipulation. Yeah, read that again. You're not being nice just for the sake of it, you're being nice because you're scared. Scared of disappointing someone, scared they won't like you, scared they'll get mad. But here's the hard pill to swallow when you act out of fear. You're not actually being kind. You're being fake. Letting people walk all over you doesn't make you a good person, it makes you an exhausted one. It makes you the person who always stays late at work while everyone else leaves on time. It makes you the person who listens to everyone's problems but has no one to call when you need help. It makes you the one who's always there for others but never for yourself. And that's a trap. Real kindness isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about telling the truth with love. It's saying, I care about you, but I won't let you cross this line. It's having the courage to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It's choosing integrity over approval. Because the people who truly matter, they don't need you to be nice, they need you to be real. If you think being nice will make people like you, think again. The ones who take advantage of you will never appreciate it. And the ones who would respect you, they'll see right through it. They'll know when you're faking it. They'll know when your smile is forced, when it's fine is a lie, when you're exhausted but still saying, sure, I'll do it. And eventually they'll stop taking you seriously. Fake niceness is exhausting. It drains you because it's a performance. It requires you to suppress your needs, your voice, and your emotions just to keep up the act. And for what? So people won't think you're rude, so they won't be mad. That's not a good enough reason to abandon yourself. True kindness is knowing when to say no, when to walk away, and when to speak up. It's not about being agreeable, it's about being authentic. It's about recognizing that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. And it's about understanding that you can be kind without being a pushover. If you're constantly overcommitting, constantly biting your tongue, constantly making excuses for people who don't respect you, stop calling it kindness. Call it what it is, fear. And fear is no way to live. Drop the fake niceness. Drop the need to be liked. Drop the exhausting habit of putting everyone else before yourself. Because real kindness starts with being honest first with others, but most importantly with yourself. People will treat you exactly how you allow them to. If you let them take advantage of your time, they'll keep doing it. If you never say no, they'll expect a yes every time. If you tolerate disrespect, they'll assume it's okay. You are the one setting the rules for how others behave around you. If you don't like the way people treat you, stop blaming them and start raising your standards. Every time you let something slide, you're teaching people that it's acceptable. The friend who constantly cancels last minute, the coworker who dumps extra work on you, the family member who always needs a favor but never returns one. They've learned that you'll put up with it. And as long as you do, they have no reason to change. You don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you tolerate. That's why the people who stand firm in their boundaries get respect, and the ones who constantly accommodate everyone else get walked all over. If you keep saying it's fine, no big deal, when it actually bothers you, you're sending the message that your feelings don't matter. And if you don't act like they matter, why should anyone else? The only way to change how people treat you is to change what you allow. Stop answering texts immediately when someone who drains you messages. Stop rearranging your schedule for people who wouldn't do the same for you. Stop over-explaining your boundaries, just state them. And when someone crosses the line, call it out, hold them accountable, let them feel the consequences. When you raise your standards, you will lose people. Good, let them go, because the ones who leave, they were never in your life for the right reasons. The ones who respect you will adjust. They'll learn that you are no longer a convenience, a backup plan, or an emotional dumping ground. You are a person with limits, priorities, and self-respect. You don't have to be harsh. You just have to be clear. You don't need to apologize for enforcing your boundaries. You don't need to justify why you expect basic respect. The only people who will be upset by your higher standards are the ones who benefited from your low ones. The world mirrors back what you put out. If you want to be treated with respect, start acting like you deserve it. Speak with confidence. Hold your ground. Walk away when necessary. Teach people that your time, energy, and kindness are not things they can take for granted. And if they can't handle that, they were never meant to stay in your life anyway. No more settling, no more justifying, no more tolerating things that drain you. Set the standard. You decide the rules. You teach people how to treat you. Your energy is precious. Stop giving it away to people who drain you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves access to you. And you are not required to be the emotional dumping ground for every person who walks into your life. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The people who always need something but never give anything back. The ones who only call when they have a problem. The ones who expect you to listen to their endless drama, but never ask how you're doing. They leave you feeling exhausted, frustrated, and emotionally drained. These are energy vampires. And guess what? You don't owe them a damn thing. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your peace. You are not a 24/7 therapist. You are not a crisis hotline. You are not a sponge meant to absorb other people's negativity. If someone constantly leaves you feeling drained, anxious, or used, that's a sign. A big, flashing neon sign that says, stop giving them your energy. It's not your job to fix people. Read that again. It's not your job to save, heal, or rescue every broken person you meet. Some people thrive on chaos. Some people don't want solutions, they just want attention. And the more you engage, the more they take. It's an endless cycle, and it will continue until you decide to step away. Boundaries are your shield. If someone's problems become your problems, set a boundary. If a conversation leaves you emotionally drained, cut it short. If a relationship feels one-sided, pull back. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify. You just have to decide that your peace is more important than their demands. You are allowed to walk away from people who exhaust you. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to put your own well-being first. This is not selfish, it's survival. The more energy you waste on the wrong people, the less you have for the people who actually matter. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you feel lighter? Or do you feel drained, frustrated, and mentally exhausted? If it's the second one, that's your answer. That's your sign to step back, limit access, and protect your space. Some people will call you selfish for this. Let them. The only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. Their reaction is not your problem. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your time. Choose wisely. Your peace is worth it. Being friendly doesn't mean people will like you. In fact, being overly nice often has the opposite effect. It makes you blend into the background. It makes you forgettable, replaceable, easy to overlook. If you think being nice is the secret to success, let me break it to you, it's not. Respect is what matters, and respect doesn't come from being agreeable, it comes from being real. People mistake friendliness for likability, but they are not the same. You can be the nicest person in the room, and still no one takes you seriously. You can go out of your way to accommodate others, and still they don't respect your time. You can put everyone else's needs before your own, and still they won't value you the way you deserve. Why? Because likability isn't about how nice you are, it's about how authentic you are. Confidence is what makes people take notice, not the forced smiles, not the excessive apologies, not the constant need to please. Confidence is being direct. Confidence is standing your ground. Confidence is knowing your worth without needing anyone else's approval. And guess what? That kind of confidence isn't always friendly. It's not passive. It doesn't shrink itself down to make others comfortable. Nice people get overlooked. Strong people get heard. Think about the people you admire. The leaders, the ones who command a room. Are they overly accommodating? Do they constantly seek validation? No. They speak with clarity. They set boundaries without guilt. They show up as themselves unapologetically. That's what makes them magnetic. That's what makes them likable. If you're bending over backward trying to make everyone happy, stop. It's exhausting and it's not working. The harder you try to be liked, the more people will sense the insecurity behind it. True likability doesn't come from saying yes to everything. It comes from owning who you are, saying what you mean, and standing firm in your values. People-pleasing is manipulation in disguise. Yeah, I said it. You're not being nice for the sake of it. You're being nice because you want something in return. Approval, validation, acceptance. But here's the harsh truth. The more you chase approval, the less you get it. The moment you stop caring what people think and start respecting yourself first, that's when real confidence shows up. Some people won't like you when you stop people-pleasing. Let them go. Their approval is not your purpose. Your purpose is to show up as your strongest, boldest, most confident self, and if that makes some people uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. Friendly does not equal likable. Likability comes from presence, confidence, and self-respect. So stop trying to be the nicest person in the room. Start being the truest version of yourself. That's what people will remember. If you're always available, people will assume your time is limitless. They'll call, text, and expect you to drop everything at a moment's notice. And if you keep saying yes, they'll never stop asking, not because they appreciate you, but because you've trained them to believe you have nothing better to do. The more accessible you are, the less valuable your time becomes. Think about it. The people who are the most respected, the leaders, the high performers, the ones who get taken seriously, are not always available. Their time is limited, their attention is selective, and that scarcity makes their presence valuable. If you're constantly at everyone's disposal, you're telling the world, my time isn't worth much. You don't need to respond instantly to every call, text, or request. You don't need to jump just because someone expects you to. You are allowed to protect your time. You are allowed to prioritize yourself. And if someone doesn't respect that, that's a sign that they were never respecting you. They were just benefiting from your availability. People will push as far as you let them. If you say yes to every favor, expect more favors. If you pick up the phone every time, expect more calls. If you never set boundaries, don't be surprised when people assume you have none. Your time is a privilege, not a right. Start treating it that way. Next time someone asks for your time, pause. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Is this a good use of my energy? If the answer is no, then say no. And don't explain. Don't justify. Don't soften it with an excuse. A simple, I'm not available is enough. The moment you start protecting your time, something incredible happens. People respect it more. They stop assuming you'll always say yes. They start valuing the moments they do get with you. And the ones who don't. They were never interested in you. They were just interested in what you could do for them. Being less available doesn't make you selfish. It makes you intentional. It means you respect yourself enough to stop giving your time away for free. Because the truth is, not everyone deserves a yes. Not every request deserves your attention. Not every person deserves unlimited access to you. If you're always available, you're never valued. So stop being the person who's always there, always answering, always agreeing. Make people earn your time. Make them appreciate your yes. And most importantly, start valuing yourself enough to say no. Discomfort is the price of self-respect. If you want people to take your boundaries seriously, you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable moments that come with enforcing them. That means sitting with the awkward silence after you say no. That means not rushing to explain yourself when someone gets upset. That means resisting the urge to make their feelings your responsibility. Most people break their own boundaries not because they don't know how to set them, but because they can't handle the discomfort that follows. The guilt, the tension, the way someone looks at you when they don't get their way. It's easier to cave, to say, okay, fine, just to avoid that uneasy feeling. But every time you do that, you teach people that your boundaries are negotiable. And if they're negotiable, they're meaningless. People will get upset when you change. Let them. Their reaction is not your responsibility. If someone is mad because you finally stood up for yourself, that says more about them than it does about you. Their disappointment doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means they're used to you saying yes. And now that you're saying no, that's their problem to deal with, not yours. You are not responsible for managing how others feel about your boundaries. Read that again. You are only responsible for enforcing them. If someone tries to guilt trip you, let them. If they call you selfish, let them. If they act distant, let them. The right people will adjust. The wrong people will leave. Either way, you win. Discomfort is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. When you stand your ground, the initial unease will fade. But if you give in, that frustration, that exhaustion, that resentment, it lingers. It builds. And eventually you'll be so drained from putting everyone else first that you won't even recognize yourself. The only way to grow is to push through the discomfort, to stop flinching when people react negatively, to stop bending just because someone doesn't like your answer, to remind yourself over and over again that you have the right to set limits even if it makes others uncomfortable. The more you practice this, the stronger you become. The first time you say no and don't explain, it'll feel awkward. The second time, a little easier. And before you know it, you'll stop feeling guilty altogether, because you'll realize that setting boundaries isn't cruel, it's necessary. Not everyone will like the new you. That's okay. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here to be respected, valued, and at peace with yourself, so get comfortable with discomfort. Let people deal with their own feelings, and never apologize for protecting your energy. The more you try to blend in, the easier you are to ignore. The more you tone yourself down, the less memorable you become. And the harder you work to be agreeable, the faster people forget you. Watered down people don't make an impact. They don't inspire. They don't lead. They fade into the background. And if you're constantly suppressing your true thoughts, your real opinions, and your actual personality just to make people comfortable, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Stop trying to be palatable. Stop softening your words so no one feels uncomfortable. Stop agreeing just to avoid conflict. You weren't meant to be pleasing. You were meant to be powerful. Think about the people who stand out in this world, the ones who leave an impact. Do they hold back? Do they hesitate? Do they shrink themselves down to fit in? Hell no. They take up space. They speak with conviction. They own who they are fully and unapologetically. And that's exactly why they're respected. You can't be both universally liked and truly influential. Read that again. If you're afraid of ruffling feathers, of saying something that not everyone agrees with, of taking a stand, then you're choosing safety over significance. And safe people, they get overlooked. There is nothing inspiring about someone who constantly bends to fit the room. There is nothing powerful about someone who always plays neutral. If you never challenge, never assert, never show up as your fullest self, people will stop listening. And not because they dislike you, but because there's nothing to hold on to. Nothing real. Nothing bold. Nothing that makes them remember you. Do not confuse likability with impact. Likability is based on how well you fit into someone else's expectations. Impact is based on how fully you embrace yourself. And you know what? Some people won't like it. Some people will call you too much, too bold, too direct. Let them. The right people will respect you for standing firm. The wrong people will fall away. Either way, you win. So stop watering yourself down. Stop making yourself smaller. Stop being afraid to take up space. Because the world doesn't need more agreeable, forgettable people. It needs people who are fully alive, fully present, and fully themselves. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. You are not here to be small. You are not here to tiptoe around people's expectations. And you sure as hell are not here to apologize for existing. Stop saying sorry for things that don't require an apology, for speaking up in a meeting, for taking too long to text back, for needing space, for saying no, for having an opinion. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to make decisions that serve you. You are allowed to exist without constantly seeking permission. Every time you shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable, you send a message to them, to the world, and worst of all, to yourself, that you are too much, that you are a burden, that you need to make yourself smaller just to be accepted. And that's a lie you've been told, a lie you've believed, and a lie that stops today. You were not given this life to be a shadow in the background. You were not meant to constantly adjust, accommodate, and filter yourself so that no one ever feels challenged by your presence. Do you think the most powerful, respected people in the world spend their time apologizing for being themselves? No, and neither should you. Confidence isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about owning who you are without hesitation. It's about walking into a space knowing you belong there. It's about speaking without waiting for validation. It's about living without constantly asking for approval. People will respect you the moment you start respecting yourself. So if you're still waiting for permission to be your full, unfiltered, unapologetic self, stop. No one is going to give it to you. You have to claim it. You don't need to over-explain your choices. You don't need to water yourself down. You don't need to justify your boundaries, and you damn sure don't need to apologize for taking up space in this world. You deserve to be here. Period. Being too friendly isn't the asset you think it is. It's the fast track to being overworked, undervalued, and ignored. If you're constantly bending over backward to make everyone else comfortable, ask yourself this: who's making sure you're comfortable? If the answer is no one, that's your wake-up call. It's time to stop prioritizing everyone else's feelings over your own. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You need to be respected, and respect doesn't come from being overly agreeable, constantly available, or saying yes to things that drain you. It comes from setting boundaries, standing firm in who you are, and refusing to apologize for taking up space. The people who truly value you won't leave when you stop people pleasing. The ones who do. They were never really in your corner to begin with. The world doesn't reward watered down, overly accommodating, always friendly people. It rewards the bold, the direct, the ones who know their worth and don't waste time proving it. If being too friendly has left you feeling exhausted, unheard, or frustrated, that's your sign it's time to stop. Start showing up for yourself the way you've been showing up for everyone else. Yes, some people will get uncomfortable when you stop being overly nice. Let them. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You do not exist to make everyone else feel at ease at the cost of your own sanity. You are allowed to be assertive. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to take up space without apologizing for it. So enough with the over-explaining. Enough with the guilt. Enough with trying to be everything for everyone. You are not here to be the most liked person in the room. You are here to be the most authentic, confident, and powerful version of yourself. And that version of you doesn't shrink to make others comfortable.